got to be music, you know. There's got to be music. All right. Okay. Our next presenter came all the way here from Egypt. This is her fourth NSTT, fifth year as NS trainer, and eighth year as an NLP trainer. With a background of teaching and psychology, she took the initiative to adjust APG manual for teens and kids. Now, she works as a full-time trainer and meta coach for parents, teens, and kids. She's also a mother of 3 boys, 16, 13, and 11 years old. And now presenting to us on Getting Real, let's all give a warm welcome to Mai Basal.
Thank you, Geraldine. Thank you so much. Thank you. Good evening, everyone. How are you doing today? I heard a while ago that you had a nice dinner. Some of you had a nice dinner tonight. I can see some hands up, so obviously some of you haven't. I can buy this later for you after I'm done with the presentation. This is a promise from me. So here we are. Holiday in Baruna, Bali. Day 7, NSTT 2019. You've made it. You've survived till day 7. We are halfway through the training. Can you believe that? Well done for you. Big hands for yourselves for doing that. Yes. Some of you have connected with on personal one-on-one conversations. Some of you, I didn't have the pleasure of doing that yet. Yet what I promise you tonight is, and what I'm sure of, that this presentation of this pattern tonight will connect all of us on a different level. I might have some trouble with the, I will adjust, okay. They are giving me this sign, so it's all right. English is not my first language. I'm from Egypt, so you might hear tonight a word or two that is mispronounced because of that reason. And the pattern that I'm going to present to you tonight is getting real with yourself. In the first day, you've experienced the pattern of core question with Mariani. And then later on, we had the gloriously fallible with Muhammad Tariq, and that led to uninsultability with Marzuki, then releasing judgment with Sandra, and then presence of mind under pressure with Jason, and then being centered with Sean. And that leads us for tonight's presentation of getting real with both yourself first, so that as a trainer in your trainings, you are real. So let me invite all of you on this journey of this pattern that I promise, when you trust the process of the journey, we're going that's my commitment to you. After trust the process, and my commitment to you is that by the end of this pattern, you're going to know the exact 5 steps of getting real as a person, as well as a trainer in your trainings. So what is real? Actually, before going to the word real, I will put the definition of getting real in 2 parts. And then I will start with real. What is real? per the definition in the manuals, and it's on your manuals on pages 51 and 52, being real is being and acting from an authentic self without masks or personas. So it's being yourself, getting real, authentic, without any masks or personas. It's also being true to one's strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. So this is the actual meaning of real in this pattern. It's being authentic to your own self without any mask. Have you ever seen a person, after talking to them, after some while, you thought, he doesn't sound congruent or she doesn't sound congruent? There is something in their talk and the way that they behave that is not that real. Have you ever experienced something like that? So sometimes it happens. Why do you think that is? It's because sometimes some people think that being or standing behind some masks or personas will protect them. Although being real, knowing one's strengths, points of strength, as well as weaknesses, threats, and opportunities, would help them getting realistic about what opportunities and what possibilities they can reach. So obviously, getting real means being authentic, being genuine to oneself. Just like this seashell. The seashell is just, if it's closed, you can only see this hard shell from outside, right? Have you ever seen a seashell before? Okay, so just like the seashell, it's closed, but then having this pearl inside when the seashell opens, ooh. Okay, the pearl of awareness. So this is exactly what we mean here in this pattern by getting real. The pearl of awareness. The awareness of your strengths, your weaknesses, the threats that you face in life, and also your opportunities. Precious, isn't it? So before leaving this precious thing, who here would like to have this pearl of awareness? Get to understand their strengths as well as their weaknesses, their threats as well as the opportunities they can reach. Okay. So looks like we agree on that pattern. You're in the right place, guys. You're in a safe place. Carl Jung said, the privilege of a lifetime is to become who you truly are. Just like this pearl inside the seashell. It was such a privilege of the lifetime of this shell to show the real essence of what it really is, what it really holds, the possibilities inside of bringing that pearl of awareness. So, why getting real? Are you interested to know why? Would this benefit you? Okay. So one of the reasons would be saving your energy. Just imagine someone who has to pretend to be someone else. Someone who has to fake it. Would that be helpful for the energy saving? Like, imagine someone with this internal conflict, always, okay, I'm nice to that guy. Now I'm going to pretend to be that egoistic person so that they respect me. I need to pretend. Okay, and they're always with this stance of pretendance. And they're not being real. They're not being their authentic self. They're just faking it. Another reason would be to have peace with oneself. Being congruent with your values and beliefs. Would you like to be congruent with your values and beliefs as a person, as a human being? Okay. A third reason would be to discover all the areas that you can have the opportunities and reach those abilities that you can reach. And lastly, because I promise both as a person and as a trainer to connect with your audience and with your attendees on an authentic level. Would you like to have that? Yes. Okay. So points for this pattern. Getting real is a process. It's a journey. It's not a destination. Do you think that asking yourself 5 questions would just, okay, I'm real? So what we're really talking about here in that pattern is being aware of your strengths, your past experiences. What experience have you brought from the past to this moment, to your present, knowing your strengths and as well as your weaknesses, looking for your dreams, your goals, your opportunities, being aware with your threats and what would stop you. This is what we mean by getting real. That is why it's called getting real, not be real pattern. Does it make sense to you? Okay. The second point, authenticity is knowing your strengths, weaknesses, threats, and opportunities. So that's a point that we've mentioned before. Being authentic is knowing your strength, weakness, opportunities, and threats. Thank you. And the last one, real means being realistic to your highest potentials. Because imagine someone is not being realistic to his highest potentials. Okay, my highest potential would be flying without wings from above 15th floor building. Would that be realistic? Okay, do you have the ability to fly? No. Okay, have you grown some wings? No. So what kind of... A trainer who, for example, in our case, if you're a trainer and then you say, I only had 3 lectures or 3 presentations, and then I know I'm capable of presenting in front of 2,000 people without experience, without knowing stage anchoring, without knowing the voice variation. Would that help him? Would that be realistic to his potentials, strengths, weaknesses, and opportunities? So what would be anti-authentic frames that people sometimes have or hold in their minds that block them from being authentic? One of which, getting real will make me look weak. If I'm real and I mentioned or I said, yes, I do have weaknesses, I might look weak. If I, as a trainer, like this last one, I'm a trainer, so it means I should know everything. I shouldn't say, I don't know. If I'm asked the question, I don't know the answer for. Although I can say, okay, I can get to know the answer and get back to you. Or, well, this is not the topic of this presentation, or this is not the topic of our lecture, so maybe we'll talk about this later. So being a trainer It doesn't mean I should know everything. And the last point or frame, anti-authentic frame, some people might not accept me the way I am. So my story getting real starts in 2002 when I started teaching teens and kids. And that was a long time ago, as you can see. Being that kind of teacher, yes, I loved my job. I love developing teens and kids, their minds, their awareness, helping them moving forward. Yet there was something that's missing. Because being a teacher, I had to wear all those masks. I had to be this tough, sometimes tough person who disciplines. I had to be that crazy person that they cannot understand. Why is she doing this? Why is she doing that? I had to discipline and scold them at some points, and this is not my reality. As a trainer, later on in 2015, in Mexico, NSTT Mexico 2015, with Dr. Michael, when I started listening, okay, thank you, that is Dr. Michael, yes. When I started listening to this exact pattern, getting real from him, all I had in my mind when he was talking about strengths and experience from the past, what do I have now, and what are the opportunities that I can get to? I was only thinking teens and kids. And I remember that year I went to Dr. Michael and I said, okay, Dr. Michael, I'm going to adjust these trainings for teens and kids. And he said, a lot of people tell me this. No one did anything. And I was like, okay, is this a challenge? And 6 months later, before the 6 months, when I went back to Egypt and I told this idea to my family, my friends, and they were all, what? You went to NSTT and you paid all that money to be a trainer for teens and kids? Are you crazy? Why being different? This is too hard. You're going to start from scratch. You can't. Simply, they said you can't. And I said, okay, you say I can't. I know I want to start getting real. So starting from there, for 2.5 months, from 10 to 10, each day in, day out, working on the manual of APG for teens. And all I had on my mind was the opportunities. Yes, there were threats. Yes, I had some weaknesses, yet by the end of 2016, I was able to deliver my first APG for teens. So what we've been talking about, strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats, is called the SWOT analysis. Anybody here familiar with the SWOT analysis? Okay. For those who are not familiar with the SWOT analysis, this is exact points that the SWOT analysis is about. It's about the strengths, the weaknesses, the opportunities, and the threats. And you would see, or you would find, the questions of the SWOT analysis on page 51. All of them, you might refer to them later and solve them so that you get to know where your position from your strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. And then on page 52, we have the questions for meta-questioning your strengths. And the meta-SWOT analysis is developed by Dennis Perdue. And by the word meta, we always mean and refer to the meta-level questions like beliefs, meanings, and intentions. That would be on page 52. So these are questions that you would refer to later. It's not part of the pattern, yet you would refer to them later so that you get to know yourself better. Now, I I would like to invite all of you to think of all the possibilities that you can reach, knowing yourself inside out, knowing all your strengths, your opportunities, as well as weaknesses and threats that might face you. Just imagine knowing all of these. And now some caveats for this pattern. This is not a quick fix pattern. So you wouldn't do this pattern, the 5 steps, and then voila, you're real. This is the process of getting real. This is taking a step into starting getting real. And the next caveat would be, check that you have both meta programs. Like doing this, that you would be aware now that you have both meta programs, the internal reference as well as the external reference. Because imagine someone just living with the internal reference. Only, yes, I can do this, of course. Okay, based on what? Based on nothing, just because I know I can. Okay, who told you? I know. So being an internal referent only wouldn't help in this case. So making sure you have both the internal and external reference. Okay, now on page 52, the lower part of page 52, you'd find the elicitation question of this pattern. How real are you with your strengths, weaknesses, threats, and opportunities? Are you ready to get real with yourself and unleash new potential? So now asking yourself these questions. Are you ready to get real with yourself and unleash your new potentials? Are you? Okay, so looks like. Okay. Okay, the steps for this pattern would be, first step, you're going to identify the challenges of being inauthentic. What makes you an inauthentic person? Or in what cases have you been inauthentic, if you have catch yourself? And then check the permission level of authenticity. In that particular situation, how was the permission of being authentic? Then you're going to reframe the meanings. Some meanings, checking this permission, will pop up, and frames blocking being authentic. So we're going to reframe those meanings. Meta-state resources to welcome and embrace authenticity. And then we're going to see what resources are we going to meta-state those frames so that we are able to embrace and welcome authenticity. And then the final step number 5, test and future pace. Okay, so if we're going to put it in like simple gestures. So we're going to identify the challenges. Identify challenges. Would you do that with me, please? Yeah. Identify challenges. Check permission. Reframe meanings. And meta-state resources. Yeah. Test and future pace. Okay. Again, identify. Check permission. Meta-state. Reframe. Meta-state. Test and future pace. Okay, now you. Well done. Give yourself a big clap. Thank you. So who would like to volunteer to come up here and try this pattern of getting real? Who's ready to get real? Okay. So what would be a situation that you felt, in which situation you'd feel inauthentic? When you're reading from the notes during your presentation, okay? And how much of the level of permission that you give yourself to be inauthentic in that situation? 4 or 5, okay, okay, okay. So please welcome her. That is very brave of her. She's like first one to raise her hand. Thank you. Please welcome her again. Thank you so much. Welcome. Okay. Okay, do you have it?
Oh, I can hold it.
Okay, can you hold it? Okay.
Yep.
So please be seated.
Thank you.
So in this pattern, you'll see me holding the notes because we're following the exact steps, the 5 steps that we have just practiced together on page 52. So welcome.
Thank you.
You'll see me looking at the notes, and at some points I will be referring to the audience. This is for the sake, this pattern that we're going to do together is for the sake of demonstration. So we might get to the outcome 100%, we might not get 100% to the outcome. My promise to you is that I will be there with you until we get there.
Correct.
Okay, later after the presentation.
Yeah.
Okay.
Cool.
I will be demonstrating with Harriet. I'll be referring to you with the steps to check that you get the steps and where we are from the pattern. Okay. So we start with the elicitation question. Okay, how real are you with your strengths, weaknesses, threats, and opportunities?
Not very.
Not very. Okay, if we're scale it, how much would that be?
About a 5 or a 6.
A 5 or a 6?
Yeah.
Okay, and it sounds to me that this is not enough for you.
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So, coming to the first step of the pattern now. So when are you, as I heard from you, it's in the context of training and in reading the notes from the training.
Yeah.
Okay. And you told me that the permission level a while ago, that it's like also 4 or 5, giving yourself this permission. Okay. Now I'd invite you to get inside now. Yes. And give yourself this permission. Get inside now and give yourself permission to be real. I give myself permission to be real.
I give myself permission to be real.
Okay. How does that settle?
Sounds fake.
Okay, it sounds fake. Okay. So now, being real, giving this permission, being real. Okay, how would that be? You might need to take a deep breath. You might need to close your eyes or keep them opened. And maybe repeat that sentence. I give myself permission to be real.
I give myself permission to be real.
Okay, and how does that settle?
Probably about an 8.
About an 8?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so turn from 4 or 5 to about an 8 now.
Yeah.
Give you that permission. Okay. Is 8 enough for you, or you'd like to?
I wouldn't mind being a 10.
Okay.
Yeah.
You might want it to be a 10. So repeat that a couple of times until you feel that it is totally and fully integrated with you and settled. I give myself permission to be real.
I give myself permission to be real.
You might say it out loud, or it might be more real for you to say it internally or repeat it internally.
Okay.
So I give myself permission to be real.
I give myself permission to be real. I give myself permission to be real. I give myself permission to be real.
Okay, I believe you. Okay, how does that settle now?
Much better. Yeah.
Much better. Like how better?
About a 10. Yeah.
About a 10?
Yeah.
Okay. Does anything get in the way of being real?
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So now, since there is nothing in the way, like just repeating the permission got her to that 10, so there is no meanings or frames to reframe here. Okay, so we're moving to the next step. So being in that state now, okay, what resources do you need? It might be courage, unconditional self-esteem, distinction between person and behavior. So what resources do you need in order to metastate that I give myself permission to be real?
To completely trust myself.
Completely trust myself.
Yeah.
Okay. That complete trust state.
Yeah. Complete trust.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So now accessing that complete trust, how would this look like, sound like, and feel like for you? Complete
It would
trust.
look free. Yeah, completely free. It would sound absolutely unbelievably authentic.
You would sound absolutely unbelievably authentic.
Yeah. Authentic. Yeah.
Authentic.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So how does that settle for you now?
Yeah. Good. Yeah.
Okay. Do you believe it?
Not quite there.
Apparently, her microphone is not on, so repeat whatever she says.
Okay. Okay.
Repeat what she
Okay.
says.
Okay.
Probably about a 7.
It settles about a 7.
Yeah.
So moving from 10 to 7, it sounds to me that there is still a frame there
Yeah.
that's blocking the way. What is that frame?
Not trusting myself.
Oh, so you've got the frame of not trusting yourself.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. In which sense? Not trusting yourself?
That I can actually do it.
I can't actually do it.
Yeah. Not trusting that I can actually do it.
Okay. Not trusting that you can actually do it.
Yeah.
Okay. Is that because holding the notes?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So do you believe now that me holding the manual, reading the pattern, it's because I cannot actually do it?
No, you got a very good point there. Yeah. No.
Okay. 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 So we're doing it, right?
Yeah, we are.
Okay. We are.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So has there been a situation that you've seen a trainer, a really good trainer, a trainer that you look up to, maybe a public figure holding some notes? It doesn't have to be a big manual like this one. It can be small notes or big notes. And they can actually do it.
Yeah.
Have you seen that before? Okay. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
So how is that frame?
It feels very good. It feels silly now that I think about it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So now what resources do you need to access so that that frame and that being reframed, that now that it's being silly and
Yeah.
people has been doing this.
Yeah.
Okay, so what resources do you need to make a state so that it settles?
Just be completely me.
Of?
Be completely me. So be completely allowing me to just be me. And
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
Trusting
So
myself.
the state of being completely you
Yeah.
and trusting yourself.
Yeah.
Okay, so access that state now.
Feels like probably about a 9-ish.
Okay, okay. I see you holding your hands. It's okay. It's okay. So is this like giving yourself some
Support.
support? So is that another frame that we need to add? Support frame?
Yeah.
Okay. So is this self-support?
Yeah.
How would you support yourself?
The word trust comes to mind again. Knowing that I can do it, and I do have support. If I needed to ask somebody, I know I have it. So yeah.
Okay. So is it something that you tell yourself? Is it something that you do?
No.
Okay. How would you frame that support? What kind of support to yourself?
That I know that I have it, and that I do trust that I have it, and it is there for me.
Okay. So for me, knowing is cognitive, trust is like the middle set of that cognition.
Yeah.
So do you know that you have it?
I know I do. Yeah.
Okay. So what about the trust level that you have it? What would bring that trust level as a middle state? What would bring it up?
Sorry, I can say that again.
What would bring the trust level up, that kind of level?
Believing in myself.
Okay, that's what's been blocking it to be there.
Yeah.
Okay, blaming yourself.
Yeah.
What were you telling
I
yourself?
said believing myself. I said believing.
Believing yourself. Believing yourself.
Yeah.
Okay, like the way that you told me before, believing myself. How do you do believing yourself?
Believing myself. Having complete trust.
Okay.
Knowing I've got it. Knowing I've got support, and believe myself. Yeah.
Okay.
How do I do that?
How do you do that?
Just allowing myself to know that I've got that wisdom inside of me, and I have true potential, and I have true potential.
Okay, so I hear the words allowing myself. So are you the one blocking yourself from having those? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so how would you allow yourself?
Throw away my notes,
Okay.
and not need to depend on them, and not feeling as though I need things that are.
And how can you do that? Not feeling that you need. Are there some skills that you need to work on? Are there some rehearsals? I'm just.
Yeah, the word trust keeps coming back to me. Just trusting.
Just trusting. Okay, so it keeps coming back, trusting.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's try this. I give myself the permission to trust that I can be real. I
give myself permission to trust that I can be real.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now repeat it internally a couple of times until you feel the trust of being real.
Yeah, feels good. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Let's check the permission level now. Okay.
I trust that I can give myself permission to be real. I trust that I can give myself permission to be real.
Okay. And how much does it settle now?
A 9.
A 9?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Is that enough for you?
Yeah.
Okay, it sounds pretty high.
Yeah.
Than 4. Okay, so imagine yourself in that trusting yourself of getting real, getting into or stepping into a training room in the future. Training, trusting yourself that you're getting real.
Yeah.
Either you have the notes or you don't. You're trusting yourself that you are getting real. How does that feel for you?
Yeah, really good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you like that?
Yeah, definitely.
Would you like to keep it?
Yeah.
Really? Really?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, congratulations. Thank you. Thank you. Please give hands for her. Thank you so much. You're welcome.